I would like to thank the organizer before starting to giving me an opportunity to present on the theme Emerging Geopolitical Equations in West Asia, Implications for Peace and Stability. I'm both equally nervous and excited to present after the prolific presentation of Dr. Nandkishore, also my supervisor during my MA course. So beginning with, West Asian region has been experiencing new types of strategic equations due to the impact of their dynamics between the regional and extra-regional actors. A power struggle is going on between the major poles in the region, subsequently altering the balance of power of West Asia. Because of the resources the region has to offer, the extra-regional powers have also been very much interested in the region. Several factors, including political, military, and diplomatic factors, have impeded the peace and stability in the region. Especially during the COVID-19 period, new developments have been happening in the region, including the reemergence of ISIS, the worsening civil war conditions in Syria and Yemen, and some Arab states normalizing their relations with Israel. So going on West, this presentation will look into certain pertinent questions such as what are the current West Asian geopolitical realities, the strategic imperatives of the major powers, as well as probable geopolitical equations. Objectives like strategic imperatives of three poles of power, such as Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Israel. Turkey is kept outside the purview due to the state's unique political, socio-political, cultural characteristics, and the role of extra-regional powers, focusing mostly on United States and Russia, and the scenarios for the future, which is the main part of the presentation. And due to the time constraints, I'll be focusing more on the last part. So moving on to the strategic imperatives of the three poles of power considered here, that is Israel, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. Uh, Israel, the major imperative for it has been the containing of its arch rival, that is Iran. Israel and Iran shared good diplomatic relations before the Islamic Revolution, although post that it has been perpetually deteriorating. And Iran falls under the immediate threat in Israel's threat perception matrix. Iran has dedicated forces and resources in an aim to undermine Israel's security, and Israel's strategy has been primarily channelized towards protecting the state and its stakes from the threats Iran poses. Secondly, Israel has always been skeptical about the rise of any other nuclear weapon state in the region. Like we've seen previously, Israel has foiled attempts by Iraq, Syria, and Iran in attempting to build their nuclear program. Israel has had its reservations even about the JCPOA agreement, which allowed for Iran to develop its nuclear program. It was one of the first states to welcome President Trump's withdrawal from the nuclear deal. Thirdly, the sub-state and non-state organizations have been a consistent threat to Israel. Especially Palestinian Hamas and the Lebanese Hezbollah have constantly been posing threat to Israel, and Israel has been taking objective of defeating them as a strategic priority. Syria, as being a neighbor, Syria has been a ground for Iran to play its game against Israel, and Iran has been building up its conventional capabilities in Syria to use it against Israel. And for Israel, it is also essential to hinder Iran's influence in Syria. Thus, Israel finds Syria as among the top in it, top list of its strategic priorities. And moving on to Iraq, Iraq is strategically important for Iran because it provides strategic depth to Iran, and also the significance of having Iraq is to control the country from any other external influence, especially that of the US. And Syria, though being a very expensive affair, Iran has always constantly supported Syria to mobilize its agenda against Israel, and it has also been supporting the Hezbollah group in Lebanon in its fight against Israel, and to oppose the Saudi influence in Yemen. It has also been supporting the Houthi rebels in its fight against the Yemeni government and the Saudi-led coalition, which has led to one of the worst civil wars in history. And moving on to Saudi Arabia, major strategic imperative of Saudi Arabia is to maintain its religious supremacy, which is continuously being challenged by Iran. Iran, one of the aspirations for Iran is to keep itself as the leader of the Islamic world, and it has been questioning Saudi Arabia's legitimacy in its aspect, and similarly to consolidate a regional balance of power and keep it not keep it in favor of Iran, and more so to diversify its economy, which is more reliant in oil on its oil industry, and especially after the COVID-19 impact, this has become a very important focus. Moving on, the extra-regional powers. So traditionally, United States has been the single most powerful extra-regional power in West Asia. But of late, especially since 2015, Russia has challenged United States, the unipolar moment in the region. At least under President Trump's administration, US's policy has focused in containing Iran, especially with respect to nuclear programs, with its sanctions, among other coercive actions, and to stabilize Israel's position vis-a-vis its relations with Arab states, among others, and to maintain its political presence. The US wants to maintain its political presence, but at the same time reduce its military presence, which can be seen with its withdrawal of forces from Iraq and Syria, although that might be questionable with the re-emergence of ISIS of late, and to provide security of allies and partners, which has been its traditional policy towards West Asia. And with resurging Russia, majorly it seeks to increase its sphere of influence in the region, and through Syria it seeks to do that, and also because of its stakes in Syria, its base is among other things. And Russia, unlike the United States, maintains a working relationship with all the West Asian states, and with that card, it has always time and again tried to don a mediator role to solve the issues in West Asia. Uh, Coming to role of China in the political and security aspect, China has not openly expressed its liking, whereas in the economic aspects, its progress has been fast, and it is slowly becoming United States concern in the region. This is a representation of the current geopolitical equations in West Asia. This was an attempt by the previous speaker, Dr. Nandkishore, and myself as part of my MA thesis. So this basically shows United States and Russia as two major external powers, and the states inside the circle shows the states that are under both the powers' sphere of influence. And as you see, the yellow lines show the diplomatic relations, and the blue shows alliances, and the orange shows trade relations. The one in the yellow box are the states that hold the wild card, that have not expressed openly which party they support, like which state they support, Saudi Arabia or Iran. They are mostly maintaining a neutral stance right now. And yes, yeah, I'll move to the next one. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, since the onset of the pandemic, there has been few changes and continuity in the geopolitics of West Asia. Mostly, though the civil war in Syria and Yemen have been happening since 2011, the situation has exacerbated right now because of dwindling health system and the economies of both the states, and especially because the involvement of the states, the fighting has been is recorded to be increased